Alrighty, guys. All right, man. Welcome back to another episode of the morning show hosted by Darrel Long, the hypest, littest morning show that you can ever join, ever on YouTube. Period, man. Shout out to everybody that's continuously joining us, continuously holding us down. As you can see, man, we're not streaming to the daily rundown. It's mainly because we got two community strikes. So I'm not going to be streaming to the daily rundown or posting anything until March. Even though I can post in the next 2 weeks, I'm just not going to risk my channel, and the stress of trying to build a channel up is stressful enough. So I don't want to risk, ruining basically my whole new channel because of somebody and their feelings about what I said on one of the videos, which is crazy because they came back on the video that they did to say the exact same thing. Um, Let me finish this video, guys. I got about a few different clips I'm gonna go over, and then I'm going to be covering this whole topic about the black culture being trash. I'm kind of over it. To be perfectly honest, I'm over it, the entire gender war conversation. I'm over the conversation about um, black culture being trash. If we're not having the authentic conversation around it, then to me, it just becomes a waste of time. It becomes a waste of time having conversations about relationships and stuff like that. If we're not going to be genuine while we're having these conversations, it just becomes a waste of time. So I want to show you guys some of the content today, man. Let's start with John Cena, because I'm just gonna go in a row. Matter of fact, nope. Let me see. Which one do I got up here first? I got so many videos. Let's start with John Cena. So recently John Cena, in an interview, because he announced his retirement, he was asked a question about why he would not have any children or why he hasn't had any children so far. And this was his response.
If I look forward to having any kids? Question mark?
Yeah.
Currently, no.
Why?
Well, from the information that I've gathered, you kind of got to look after them.
Yeah. It's kind of.
Yeah. I'll just give you a small insight into my life. I have been working straight for 43 days now, and I got another 20 to go. So if I were to bring a life into this world that needs environmental nurture and unconditional love, I also know that takes time. And I've been blessed with some great opportunities, and life has awarded me the chance to do some amazing things. And right now I want to seize those opportunities. So I don't want to make an irresponsible choice and bring a life into the world that I will neglect. I don't think that's fair. That's a great question. Thank you for being vulnerable enough to allow me to answer it.
As you guys can see, John Cena is not interested in bringing a life into the world unless he absolutely knows that this child is going to be taken care of, is going to be provided for, is going to be loved and nurtured. And I think that's a brilliant thing, because so many times we bring children into the world without thinking about how our mental health is. And if we're in the best place mentally, financially, physically to bring a child into the world, and spiritually. And I have to give John Cena his credit for being mature enough to say, I'm not ready for a child, and my life is so busy, so hectic, that I would not be the best father that I can possibly could be. And that's probably why he's being honest and saying, hey, I don't need to have any children because it's just not the best thing for me right now. And I genuinely respect that coming from John Cena. We don't see enough men being honest about why they do not want to be fathers. And I love the fact he didn't blame it on a woman, or say culture is trash, or talk about feminism or some shit like that. He kept it simple. So shout out to John Cena. Shout out to my new sub. I appreciate you in the building. I appreciate you guys for joining, man. John Cena, stand-up guy. Now I want to go to a topic, another small light topic. One of our favorite boxers champion Terrence Crawford has announced that he is retiring from boxing, no longer putting on the gloves any longer. Let's go into that video also.
This sport gave me everything. I fought for my family. I fought for my city. I fought for the kid I used to be, the one who had nothing but a dream and a pair of gloves. And I did it all my way.
It cannot be overstated how sensational Terrence Crawford is.
I gave this sport every breath I had, every scar, every triumph.
Terrence Bud Crawford is the pound-for-pound king.
Every ounce of my heart.
The Fighting Pride of Omaha, Nebraska, USA, and new Ring Magazine, an undisputed super middleweight champion of the world.
And I've made peace with what's next. And now, it's time. Thank you.
So as you guys just saw, Terrence Crawford, announced his retirement from the sport of boxing. He is no longer participating in the sport of boxing. He is all but done. Now I see my new subby in the chat asks, why is Terrence Crawford retiring? Now, I can't say for a fact why he's retiring. I can't speak towards, the exact situation. Excuse me. But I will say there was a situation recently where Terrence Crawford won a championship title, and the title was stripped away from him because he owed apparently $300K to the promoter. Now, let me tell you the full story. Terrence Crawford was stripped of his WBC super middleweight title in early December of 2025 this year after refusing to pay a hefty $300,000 sanctioning fee following his victory over Canelo Alvarez on September 13th, 2025, for which he approximately earned $50 million. Now, the WBC reduced its standard sanctioning fee from 3% to 0.06% specifically for Terrence Crawford, bringing it to a total of $1.5 million down, all the way to $300,000. The organization stated that 225 of the 300,000 would go to the fee, and this will support the boxers' funds, which also provides humanitarian aid to fighters experiencing hardship in the country. Now, I do think it's absolutely unfortunate that we have one of the biggest sportsmen to actually just leave the sport. I think it's sad, bro. You know what I mean? We haven't had a great boxer in a long time, somebody that we can be proud of, somebody that's African American, a black man raised by a black mother. And it's sad that he was stripped of his title simply because he didn't want to pay $300,000. And I think it's crazy that I got to pay over $250,000 just to keep my title, which I earned in the boxing ring. Very unfortunate situation. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm sad to see Bud Crawford leave the sport of boxing. I am very sad to see it. So many topics, y'all. Let me go to my next topic before I get to all the dark stuff. Let's go to 50 Cent. So recently, Charlemagne the God came out speaking up for 50 Cent. Right now, 50 Cent just recently released a documentary about Diddy. Oh, hold on. Now, as I was saying, 50 Cent has been getting a lot of pushback for making the documentary that's now on Netflix titled Sean Combs: The Reckoning. And Diddy is getting a lot of bad publicity, and a lot of people feel like 50 Cent is just simply adding to that out of spite and jealousy. What's going on? What's going on, my brother Lord ADS in the building? Lord ADS is in the Now, before I go into Charlemagne defending 50 Cent, let me give you guys who may not understand what's been going on recently a rundown. 50 Cent's Netflix documentary, The Reckoning, has sparked significant pushback from multiple directions since its December 22nd, December 2nd release. Sorry, it just came out a few months ago. A few weeks ago. I am fucking up right now. Now, from Diddy's legal team, Diddy representatives called the documentary, quote, a shameful hit piece, and claimed Netflix used stolen footage that was never authorized for release. Okay, this is according to CNN. Diddy lawyers sent a cease and desist letter to Netflix before the premiere of the 50 Cent documentary, arguing that the footage was never a part of anything that was supposed to be authorized to the public. And apparently, this is just a grudge for 50 Cent. Now, despite these threats, no legal action has been taken against Netflix since the release of the documentary. Hip-hop figures such as Jim Jones labeled the series a mockumentary and criticized it as petty behavior. 50 Cent fired back on Instagram, telling Jim Jones to stand down. Now, before I keep going, do you guys think in the chat, Laura ADS and my new sub, or anybody else is watching, do you guys believe that 50 Cent was wrong for putting out the Diddy documentary? Then we have Dr. Umar Johnson. That's right, guys. The one and only Dr. Umar Johnson.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Dr. Umar Johnson called the project, quote, self-hatred disguised as community service, end quote, arguing that Black creators don't pursue similar exposés on figures such as Jeffrey Epstein or the Catholic Church with the same intensity that 50 Cent has pursued this justice expose about Sean Combs. Dr. Umar comments sparked polarized debate online about accountability versus selective targeting, saying that 50 Cent, according to Dr. Umar Johnson, 50 Cent isn't calling out people like President Trump. As a matter of fact, President Trump was found guilty of 34 different felony convictions, and 50 Cent celebrated him by attaching the Mini Man song to Donald Trump after Donald Trump was the assassination attempt. Okay. Now, with all that being said, let's go into the video right now.
Black man shouldn't be doing this to another black man. How come we not having conversations about what Diddy did to other black people? Like when you watch that documentary, every person on that documentary except for Aubrey O'Day is black. So how come nobody is saying a black man shouldn't do that to other black people? Because this
is the thing though, right, Charlemagne? You're not wrong in your logic. But when we add nuance and context, that's where it becomes a problem. Not that it makes you wrong, but it becomes a problem when you say it, because you interviewed Diddy. You interviewed Diddy multiple times on the Breakfast Club and that very studio to which you are at right now. There been speculation about what happened with Diddy and Shine. There been speculation about what happened with Diddy and Kirk Burroughs. There been speculation about Diddy taking certain people revenue and keeping it for himself. We saw it with Making a Band. I want y'all to go across Queensbridge and get me breast milk from a Cambodian immigrant. Then I want you to walk back and go all the way to Newark and get daddy a sugar cookie. The fuck? But still, y'all did business with him. Earn Your Leisure, they did business with him. Why isn't 50 Cent calling out all of the racists in New York? All of the PDF files in New York? Oh, why isn't 50 Cent, who supported President Trump publicly, why isn't he talking about President Trump and Jeffrey Epstein? I get it. And I'm going to stand on this one 100%. You're jealous of Diddy because Diddy is more successful than you, 50 Cent. I'm not defending Diddy actions. Diddy was wrong for beating Cassie. Diddy was wrong for flying in prostitutes. Diddy was wrong for paying prostitutes. Diddy was wrong for everything he ever did. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. But as a hip hop historian, what I'm not going to do is sit back and make it seem like 50 Cent wasn't jealous because G Unit could never become Bad Boy. And he took this opportunity to try to level up his nostalgia in New York, to try to level up his iconic statue in New York. But at the end of the day, you would never be Diddy. You would never be Puffy. That's just what it is, man. Let's finish this.
There are things we know Diddy did because we saw it, and there are things he's being accused of. We don't know if they're true. Right. But either way, majority of people who are accusing him of something are black. So I don't understand why, there's not more conversations about that, but everybody's so, 50 Cent shouldn't be doing this to another black man. What about all the black people Diddy did and allegedly did stuff to?
And then they be acting like he made stuff up, right? Because
yes.
I've heard about a lot of this before the doc came out. It was just that the doc was like, damn, like to actually see it in a documentary.
He didn't prove anything. You got Keefe. We been heard the audio of Keefe D saying that Diddy had all of the Crips and shit in the room, and he said that whoever bring me Suge and Tupac head, I give him $1 million. We've been heard Keefe D say that happened. You know what never happened? We never had 100 Crips come together and say Keefe D was telling the truth. Why would they incriminate themselves? That's why it was never taken seriously, right? It wasn't until the pew pew was found on Keefe D's address on his residence that he was even arrested for Tupac's murder. And again, that would go directly back to Orlando Anderson, because Orlando Anderson was who? He was a Crip. He was right along with Keefe D and them. So again, I don't like what 50 is doing. I think it's lame. I think it's corny. And if you're gonna call one out, call everybody out. Talk about why you don't be in your kid's life. Talk about we got women say that black women say that you beat on them too. Talk about that, bro. I don't want to hear you talk about another man's business. That's corny.
Putting it all together is like, damn, the clarity. Like,
can't nobody make? Yeah, you can't make this. You can't. I mean, you don't get me wrong. You can make stuff up.
Yeah,
but he didn't. We've been hearing a bunch of these stories forever. Yes. And guess what? Right. Like I said, these are black people's stories. Except one white girl was on that documentary, 4 parts. Everybody else was black. That's right. And I ain't heard nobody say, "Damn, Diddy shouldn't have been doing black people like that." But 50 Cent shouldn't be doing that to another black man.
Yeah, I agree. 50 Cent. He shouldn't be doing this to another black man. I agree. I think it's crazy that, again, instead of us saying, damn, 50, why aren't you in your kid's life? Why aren't you in your son's life? Why your son got to come to social media and beg you to be a father? Oh, because you're too busy walking around trying to figure out what Diddy got going on. Again, I'm going to say it right here, right now. Sean Combs is a better father than Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. I'm gonna make that the title of the video. Sean Puffy Combs is a better father than 50 Cent has ever been. Ever. I never heard Diddy kids come out saying, Daddy don't love us. Daddy don't want to provide for us. But I heard your kids come out saying that 50. Charlamagne, when y'all gonna talk about that? Oh, it's pile up on Diddy season. I got it. You ain't gotta tell me twice, bro. I got it. A lot of y'all jealous because Puff was more successful than y'all. A lot of y'all jealous because Bad Boy is cemented in hip hop and R&B for the 90s and the 2000s. That's just what it is, bro. For years, when we looked at billionaires, black billionaires that people wanted to be like, nobody mentioned 50 Cent name. Nobody said, I wanted to be like 50. No, they wanted to be the billionaire. That's just what it was, bro. Okay, Cassie highlighted that he a fuck nigga. We already knew that. You acting like a scoring baby mama, bro. Shit's crazy. Let me go into the next video, man. Got a lot of let's go to our president. So recently, President Trump said that he went to the White House doctor. Okay. He went to the White House doctor, and the White House doctor told him that he was in better shape. He was in better shape than Barack Obama. Now, let's hear what President Trump had to say about this. So this is wicked business.
Joining us tonight, our Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick is doing a fantastic job. Representatives Paul Gosar, David Kutzoff, Claudia Tenney, Ronnie Jackson, he was my White House doctor. Ronnie was asked, who is the healthiest of all? Was it Barack Hussein Obama? Was it Sleepy Joe Biden? Or was it Donald Trump? And he said Trump was by far the healthiest.
Okay. You heard it out the horse's mouth himself. Okay. They asked the doctor, allegedly, who was the most healthiest president he ever served. Barack Hussein Obama, quote, listen, I'm just quoting the president, quote, Sleepy Joe Biden, quote, or fucking President Trump. And apparently, despite being far older than Barack Obama by decades, despite having a more round physique, right? Despite us never seeing Obama fall asleep ever while he was in any meetings, and we have seen Trump fall asleep in meetings, apparently, beknownst to us, Donald Trump is the most in shape president of all time. Now, haters gonna say it's not real. Haters gonna say it's fake. But let's hear what President Trump got to say.
He was the doctor for all three of us, and he said Trump was by far the healthiest. I love him. If he didn't say that, I would have never have talked to him again. Where is Ronnie? Is he here? Ronnie Jackson, what a great legend.
President Trump believes, according to White House doctors, he is the most in shape president in U.S. history. The delusion of males is crazy. Here's what I suggest. I suggest that Donald Trump, being the most in shape, athletic president of all time, I suggest that he do, I don't know, a 3-mile run against former President Barack Obama. Here in Chicago, you have the Trump Towers. We can make it a big fucking spectacle. Cameras everywhere, right? And you and Obama race, okay? Race the magnificent mile, and then see who finishes first, and then we can reassess if that doctor needs his job or not. Okay, we're gonna press forward. We don't have too much time to be addressing President Trump's foolery. And let me remove this from the studio. Too much going on, way too much going on. Now I'm gonna circle, since we're talking about politics, we're gonna circle back to President Biden and his administration. As former Vice President VP Harris sits down with Jimmy Kimmel to talk about why they did not release the Epstein files. That way we can see everything transparently. Let's go into that video now.
Didn't the Biden administration release those files? Was that something that they felt would look bad while they're running against this guy, or why didn't they come out during your administration?
To give you an answer that will not satisfy your curiosity, I will tell you, we, perhaps to our damage, but we strongly and rightly believed that there should be an absolute separation between what we wanted as an administration and what the Department of Justice did. We absolutely adhered to that, and it was right to do that. The Justice Department would make its decisions independent of any political or personal vendetta or concern that we may have. And that's the way it worked.
And I respect VP Harris. I actually, the more and more that I listen to her, the more and more I like her. That's why I bought her book, and I need to start reading it. To be honest, I need to finish that book. I need to get back into some of my healthy practices because life be crippling a brother. And let me just say this, man. VP Harris has always been transparent. I like the fact that she didn't just retaliate against Trump and they just released all these files. No, let Trump deal with this shit. Let Trump deal with the mess that he made. And it was just so convenient that we don't have Jeffrey Epstein here to talk about any of this stuff himself. Very convenient. I don't think that VP Harris needed to release the files. I don't think that President Biden needed to release the files. You want to know why? Because people wasn't even talking about it. I didn't hear people saying, I want to see Trump go to jail. I want to see Trump go to jail. I want to see these Epstein files come out so we can find something and pin it on Trump. Y'all act like this shit didn't exist. People have been talking about Jeffrey Epstein since he got arrested. And people have been tying him to President Trump since Jeffrey Epstein was arrested. A lot of y'all are willfully ignorant when y'all like a person, when y'all like a party, when y'all like a movement, and y'all would directly just turn the blinders on and act like this person isn't a convicted felon, this person isn't a known liar, this person wasn't allowed to participate in charity work or have foundations again in New York City because they was doing underhanded things with the charities and shit. I mean, y'all act like we don't know. Like I told my wife when she was like, well, you like Trump? No, I see people for who they are. It's actually something that I love and I hate about myself because sometimes it just drives me crazy. But when it comes to President Trump, I can expect him to lie. He went on public and said, we're going to build a wall and have Mexico pay for that wall. And for 4 years, it never happened. The talks in Mexico never even started. And here you go. You got people who believe this shit. Right? Fucking Team Portugal dropped a whole video talking about how President Trump was running on affordability. And then 2 years later, he said that affordability was a Democratic scheme. You see, it's like when I have certain friends who I know every time they come over, they're never going to have any weed to match. They just want to smoke. If I choose to be friends with this person, I have to know what I'm getting myself into. No matter how stressful the situation is. A lot of y'all wanted Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to do the most, while at the same time having absolutely little to no standards when it comes to President Trump. And this is why, ultimately, this is why our country has gone to shit. Now, I'm done with that part. VP Harris, they had to release a goddamn thing. Next, I want to go to a sad story from North Carolina where a teacher was forced to resign. And she was forced to resign allegedly because she said a whole bunch of polarizing, racially charged statements. And instead of me breaking it down what happened on the morning show this morning, I'm going to allow the parents to break it down. Let's go to that clip now.
Investigating the resignation of a Winterville teacher after what the school calls a racially insensitive lesson and caught the attention of a lot of our viewers. Justin Lundy has been following this story and is live outside of Winterville Charter Academy with the latest. Justin.
Yes, I spoke with parents whose children tell them that a teacher here at Winterville Charter Academy used racial slurs inside an 8th grade classroom. And today, those parents are demanding immediate action and answers.
She had them raise their hand during a Constitution lesson and reminded them that if it wasn't for the Constitution, they would still be her slaves, her field slaves.
Kanisha Tillman and McKay Benjamin.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
She did what? She reminded the children that raise your hand for the Constitution. Okay, Mrs. Annie Mae. Now, children, if it wasn't for the Constitution, you would still be my motherfucking slave. Let's go back on it. Let's hear it.
Yes, I spoke with parents whose children tell them that a teacher here at Winterville Charter Academy used racial slurs inside an 8th grade classroom. And today, those parents are demanding immediate action and answers.
She had them raise their hand during a Constitution lesson and reminded them that if it wasn't for the Constitution, they would still be her slaves, her field slaves.
Kanisha Tillman and McKay Benjamin say their children were in an 8th grade classroom at Winterville Charter Academy. And late last month, that was the lesson on Constitution Day. Tillman says both the teacher and some white classmates then used the N-word.
And then call him a and then the teacher responded by saying when the black student tried to address it and ask her to address it, she said that, well, it's okay because we're all a little bit racist.
School leader.
Y'all see? Shannon Sharp, Sharon Moore, Jonathan Majors, Johnny Depp. Have y'all not learned? What is wrong with you niggas? See, y'all expect these particular group of women to behave in the most feminine, most judicial way when they don't. They keep showing you over and over and over and over and over and over and over who you are to them. Of course, this is North Carolina. This is the South. Of course. And of course, we have an adult telling 8th grade children that they would still be a slave if it wasn't for the Constitution. And that's why they must raise their hands and pledge allegiance to the United States of America. Lord have mercy, man.
Initially sent out a memo to parents of that classroom on September 24th. It said they investigated the incident and the teacher involved resigned. After outrage began to spread on social media that the teacher wasn't fired, Principal Anastasia Ryan sent out the following memo on October 5th to the whole school, reading in part, "As soon as we were made aware of each incident, we immediately took action. The result was a teacher resignation and the children involved being disciplined in accordance with our parent and student handbook. These situations concern us too. Our school culture is built on one of acceptance, love, and respect to serve all children and their families." Benjamin.
At the end of the day, we got to understand we still black in America, and we all are black men and black women. This is a black mother that had her kid traumatized in a place where she sent this kid and she thinking that this kid is going to be educated, be treated fairly, right? But instead her child is coming back saying, "Mommy, I would have been a slave if it wasn't for the Constitution. I would have been a slave." And that's what I'm saying. And on top of that, I mean, we pledging allegiance to what? We pledging allegiance to a country that a lot of times don't even respect us. We pledging allegiance to a country that will allow black veterans to come back and be treated like gangsters and thugs. It's a major problem that we have in the black community, and we need to come together to solve our issues. I would no longer be participating in gender conversations and race conversations or none of that. I'm only interested in doing what's best to preserve the black community and do what's best for black families and spread love and knowledge. And if you guys don't, if that's not entertaining, that's fine. I'm happy with the little few people I got over here because my message is genuine. That's just what it is, man. I feel sorry for this woman. I feel sorry that as a black man that's trying to defend this woman also, I won't be heard. The majority of the fuck niggas will get all of the attention this week, no matter what they do. Right? Those are the ones that's going to get all the attention. But to the black men that do see this video and hear this message, please go defend this woman. Please defend her child. Please let's try our best individually, if not collectively, to try to change the narrative that black men don't care about love, black men don't care about our families, and that we're not willing to protect other women. I don't want no sex from this woman. I don't want her number. I just want to make sure that she can send her child to school without coming back to her child traumatized. That's all I want.
Planned to remove her child from the school, but changed her mind this week. And why aren't you taking your kids out of the school?
Instead of us just removing our kids and letting them get away with it and not actually holding them accountable for what's going on, we should stay at the school and fight and get them to address the situation.
Winterville Charter Academy has not revealed the name of the teacher involved, but parents are demanding new policies to prevent situations like this from occurring again.
I would like for them to have training on cultural fluency, on implicit bias, on racism, and I would like the students to have training. Like, it doesn't make sense why we got a school-wide email about TikTok challenges in the soap dispensers, but we didn't get a school-wide email discouraging more racist remarks coming to the school.
A memo from the school stated that the teacher who resigned will actually receive culturally sensitive training. I'm not really sure how that's going to be worked out because I already reached out to school and they haven't said anything about that, but future and current teachers will also go through that training as well. In Pitt County, Justin Lundy, WITN News.
Lord have mercy. Here we go again. Little pat on the wrist. We're gonna even though you just completely violated somebody's fucking child, we're gonna just give you a little pat on the wrist, and you have to take a racial non-bias class. We're gonna program you not to be racially charged, not to be fucking sadistic when you're talking about black people and black culture. No, from now on, after our non-bias class, little slap on the wrist, you're going to speak about black people and call them black kings and queens. No, those things don't work. I can't put David Duke into a fucking racially unbiased class and thinking that he's not going to come out and still want to be the clan leader. What are y'all doing? This is built up over generations, especially in the South. You're doing this a disservice by just putting a book in front of these people and say, hey, these guys are not slaves anymore. These guys are people. Can you treat them like people? You don't have to put a book in front of them with no white kids and say that. You don't have to put no book in front of them with any other race and say, hey, treat these people like people. Why do you have to do that with us? Why not just fire that person? Why not give them a true incentive to change? You can't work at any of our schools unless you publicly apologize to black people. And now, for the next 2 years, you're going to be teaching African American studies. That's right. You're going to be teaching African American studies, and you're going to be teaching every great achievement that black people have accomplished in this country. Until we, as a community, feel satisfied. But nope, pat on the wrist, you know what I'm saying? No firing. No probationary period. Take a little class. Learn that black people are amazing. Go back to work. Okay. On to the next topic. Lord have mercy. Speaking of 50 Cent and Rick Ross, I spoke about 50 Cent earlier with the Diddy situation. Rick Ross' eldest daughter has come forward to give her thoughts about why she thinks 50 Cent is a petty 50-year-old man. Let's go.
You said that like that shit was gonna insult me. My daddy is old as fuck. And act like he motherfucker 20. I love his life. But I be telling that nigga, slow down. When is you gonna stop? When is you gonna stop doing this? Look, like you act like you motherfucking my age. You're not. You're old. Cause if I'm 24, that means you knocking on motherfucking 50, boy. That's old as shit. Like 50, look, listen to how it sound. 50? Before my daddy had 8 kids, he had 2. So 2 of his kids are only like, there's only 2 of us who are adults. Everybody else is fucking kids. They have to live with their moms. Their children, their babies. The oldest one is 8 years old, which is my little sister. Everybody else is kids. Like, we don't have siblings that's 16, 15, 14.
That's because your father is a whore. And they gonna try to flag me for this stuff and say I'm doing community guidelines. I take that back. He's not a whore. Your father is extremely promiscuous. And the one thing about our culture, and I'm gonna say that black culture, is black men know, not think, they know. And it's two type of ones. There's black men out here like Rick Ross. He doesn't have to be in shape, doesn't have to be attractive, because his hustle is attractive. The things he do, the way he provides is attractive to some women, right? And for them, I mean, Rick Ross is swapping out young baddie like I go swap out motherfucking Crocs. He has no intention on committing. He has no intention on being married. But why should he? Why should he? Oh, because he getting old and he should settle down. Why? Why should he settle down when you have women in their 20s and 30s and 40s, beautiful, educated, accomplished women going after him, and they know they're not about to get no ring, right? I always tell the women around me that if men are not incentivized to do the right thing, then it's no point. Men are just gonna do whatever men want to do. You want to incentivize them for marriage? Don't open your legs up to them. I promise you, you won't be dealing with this man if you just keep your legs closed. And then when you tell them the only way you get this is after we walk down the aisle. Oh my God, save a lot of y'all heartache and headache and trauma. Your father, just like a lot of black men, unfortunately, deal with lack of dick discipline. That's just the truth. He literally has no dick discipline. This is why before I met my ex, before I got married, before I got married, before I met my ex, fuck it, I'll start from there. I was celibate. And I was celibate for a reason, because my life was peaceful. And at the end of the day, your father is going to bring a lot of women trauma that other men are going to have to deal with, et cetera, because for whatever reason, he come into their life with no intentions at all. And for whatever reason, they allow him to come in with no intentions at all. And then that becomes trauma for somebody else to deal with. Let's finish the video, man.
My daddy got 8 kids, y'all.
What? No. I didn't even know Rick Ross had 8 kids. But at the end of the day, why are women continuously having Rick Ross baby? You tell me.
The oldest 2 is 20 and 23. My brother doesn't live here because he goes to college. So I'm the only motherfucker here. It's not about favoritism. It's just that's how life is going right now. And all my other siblings are kids. I'm the youngest. Did you just not hear what I said? Damn. Of course y'all wouldn't know he had that many. My daddy is a very private person.
Yeah, none of us know Rick Ross had that many kids. And that's the end of our video. I didn't. Did y'all know Rick Ross had that many kids? Leave a comment in the comment section below. But I did not know that Rick Ross had 8 kids. Right now, I gotta go check this. I gotta fact check this. How many kids Rick Ross have and baby mamas? Put them in order. Let's get the facts of this. Happy Intrinsic says she's not surprised. I'm not surprised either, because wealthy black men, they have their way. They don't have to be loving, caring, nurturing, providing, protecting. They don't have to be emotionally secure. They have their way. Like, think about this, Happy Intrinsic. Dark-skinned women are still going to Chris Brown concerts knowing that they're not welcome, literally. Then get mad when they go to the back section and say, Chris Brown didn't allow me in, knowing he has a history of not letting black women in, specifically dark-skinned women. So as much accountability and culpability as Rick Ross has in this situation, I don't know. Rick Ross can go meet a woman today and she'll let that nigga nut inside of her and get her pregnant. Now, based on Gemini and ChatGPT and Claude, it says Rick Ross has 6 children by 4 different women. One of his ex, Tia Kemp, has claimed that he has 10 kids total. All right. But none of this has been publicly confirmed. Now, we have Listonia Levinston. They have a baby named Toei. You have Tia Kemp. They have William. You have Brianna Camille. They have 3 kids, Berkeley, Billion, and Bliss. And you have Sierra Nicole. And they have, I think, a daughter named Ami, who is about 1 year old, 2 years old, maybe. So those are Rick Ross children confirmed. And yes, I love Tia. Tia said he got 10 kids. His ass might have 10 kids. I don't put it behind him. You know what I'm saying? Rick Ross, Maybach Music. Head ass motherfucker. And at the end of the day, I do want to say this though. Wale's new album allegedly is fire. I gotta go listen to that. But Rick Ross is a bandit. His daughter is calling him out for having 8 kids. The public only knows about 6 kids. Let me know in the comments below if y'all think that Rick Ross's daughter and his ex-baby mama or his baby mama, Tia Kemp, is right, that he has over 6 kids and he's been lying to the public. Okay? Y'all let me know what you think about that. I got this stuff I gotta do, child. Let me see. Where my other videos at? Yeah, I heard the album was good. Happy Intrinsic. I just haven't finished it yet. I honestly haven't started it. What other videos do I have back here that I downloaded today? Ooh, Fannie Willis. Ooh, Racist White Girl. Let's go here. So recently in a bar in the South, there was a bartender who was an African-American man, and he was serving this young Caucasian woman a drink. When this happened,
White girl on fire. Yeah, oh, let's go. Okay, take this. Do not come back. Oh, God, man. No, especially. Never come back. You leave when you go. And go when you leave. Don't forget that. Don't go leave your way out. Are you deaf? Are you deaf? I mean, I swear to God, I'm so sorry you can't. I'm so sorry. The blonde hair and blue eyes can't. Oh, how many more white girls need to on the bus? Okay, that's cool. Take my sweet ass. That's okay. I'm a lawyer. Lawyer is something outside. Okay. Yeah, I got a video of it.
Now, this happened at the LTD Bar and Grill in Seattle, Washington, and here's their information. And I would love nothing more than to turn this into a win for them, and you guys go support them because they showed incredible strength and resistance in dealing with that woman. So go give them a follow on Instagram, and if you're in the area, go grab a bite to eat and enjoy a night out at their what looks like an amazing establishment.
So, as you just saw, you have a unruly Caucasus Mountain woman just hurling obscenities, racial slurs towards this black bartender. And again, the conversation will not be about her in the manosphere today. The conversation will be about Meg Thee Stallion, black culture being trash, Kamala Harris, DEI, submission or lack thereof. The conversation will never be about young Caucasian ladies like this one. And I'm going to send this to the young homie, what's his name? Antonio Speaks, Antonio Talks. Good young man, good young brother right there. Good young brother with his head on straight, married to a black woman with black kids. Boy, married in your 20s. That boy over there doing God's work. Okay? Oh, sorry. That young man is over there doing God's work. Okay? I'm not even going to say nothing about this. I'm interested in hearing what black men have to think about this. Please leave a comment below in the comment section below to let me know how y'all feel about this unruly altercation. Oh, Lord have mercy. You can't make this shit up. You think you can, but you can't make this shit up. Literally, bro. Oh my God. So many files. So many files today. Let me see. I know I got Fannie Willis. Oh, we almost done.
Is waiting for the next.
Okay. Hold on, girl. So look. Next, we have to go into more bad news for black men. We have Trey Songz being accused of some awful shit, some Diddy type shit. Let me go ahead and get my Trey Songz accusations. We're gonna get those pulled up. So if you guys remember, a few years ago, Keke Palmer came out and said that allegedly she had a very distasteful experience with singer Trey Songz. Now, he has faced numerous accusations over the years. Most recently, Trey Songz was charged with a felony criminal mischief and several misdemeanor assault allegations related to two separate incidents that happened both in Manhattan. Now, let me see if I got that video where he was getting arrested. If I got that video, let me see.
I'm saying under what charges?
I'll let you know.
You have to.
So Trey Songz in this video right here was being arrested at a Manhattan hookah lounge where he allegedly assaulted someone. Let's go ahead and see that before I go back to the young lady talking about Trey Songz being abusive.
I'm saying under what charges?
I'll let you know.
You have to read him his rights and let him know what he's under arrest.
We're not knowing.
Sir,
We're not asking. Hey,
what? You have to.
All right, bring him out.
I didn't touch anybody. You have to. Hold up.
Come.
Listen.
Listen to me. I need you to be away from me. You're going to be an OJ if you come near me. You've already arrested him. I will let you know what it is.
Stand right for his safety. I need to witness.
I'm with it too. I'm with it too.
Brother,
Come on.
Mama,
Y'all see the footage. How y'all arresting him?
I understand, Miss Officer.
I didn't call.
Can somebody read him his rights and let him know what's going on?
He called the woman Mrs. Officer. Child, not just officer, not deputy. Lord have mercy. Underlying misogyny is not going to help you, sir.
They just told me I
I'm
could
not asking him
pay.
any questions.
They told me I could pay.
You just told him he's under arrest.
Can I not pay?
Sir, that opportunity is gone now. That opportunity is gone now.
Brother!
You just told him he's under arrest without reading him his rights.
You know the law first before you talk to him.
I do know the law.
Okay.
Look, it's the owner right here, Lieutenant. Look.
Officer.
Look. You don't want him to arrest. It's the owner. You said the owner wanted him to arrest.
Don't do that. You just spoke to me, right?
As y'all can see, Trey Songz is being escorted outside of a hookah lounge in downtown Manhattan, where he allegedly assaulted somebody and destroyed over $1,500 worth of hookah lounge setups, sofas, and DJ equipment. Of course, Trey Songz pleaded not guilty to all charges and was released on his own recognizance. Now, let's go back to the video.
I'm not changing.
Don't let her coerce you, though. This is unlawful. Can I not speak to you? This is unlawful. Don't let her do it, bro. Don't let her do it. What, brother? I was assaulted. Tell him you don't want him arrested. The owner's right here saying he doesn't want him arrested. Hey, bro, tell him I didn't do nothing to nobody, bro. This is unlawful. I didn't do nothing to nobody. They assaulted me, miss. Miss. This is unlawful. You don't like how people talk to you? Miss, they assaulted me. The owner literally came out. Unlawful. The owner came out and said he don't want him arrested. Why you arrested? Nobody's pressing charges. Bro, are you mad at me? What did I do? Just have a seat, watch him. You tell him what he's under arrest for. You said he's under arrest, ma'am. Can you let him know what it is?
There's more. There's more, guys. Because again, you guys know me. I do my due diligence. All right. I do my due diligence. I'm not just here to talk shit about Trey Songz. I'm not here just to destroy his legacy or destroy a black man. That's not my MO. That's not my MO at all. I just want to show you guys a thread between people's behavior. That's what I do. I look at people's behaviors and I study them. Right? Now let's look at this video here on Larry King, where Keke Palmer addresses again the situation with Trey Songz. Fair use. Fair use. Fair use.
I want to discuss a recent incident you publicly addressed.
Yeah.
On Instagram, the R&B singer Trey Songz. He was a guest here.
Ah.
He released a new music video for his song "Pick Up the Phone," and you make a cameo appearance, as I understand it. But you say you never authorized him to use your likeness.
Yeah.
Okay. What were you doing there if you didn't want to be in the video?
Well, it was a party.
Oh,
It was a regular party. You know, I was in Miami for New Year's, a lot of friends there, people there. You know, so I just went to hang out, and then it turned into a video.
You didn't know it would be a video.
No, I didn't know.
Did you see cameras?
Yeah, when I started to see cameras, I was like, okay, they filming a video. Ain't got nothing to do with me, you know, until they started asking me to be in it.
They did ask you to be in it.
Yeah, more than
you
once.
said no?
Yeah, more than once.
Why did you say no?
Because I wasn't in the right mind. I had been drinking and eating, and it wasn't a professional environment. It was not a place where I'm like, I'm in the right mind to decide if this works with my brand, if I like the artist. I don't know nothing about the artist that it's also in the song.
Did you say no to the producer or to Trey?
I said first no to the producer, then said no to the assistant, and then said no to Trey, and then said it again after I, came out the closet.
What did you mean by sexual intimidation?
I mean, just that. Sexual intimidation, I feel as a female, often I'm put in situations where sometimes males will use their masculinity, their sexuality to taunt you,
Sometimes males will use their sexuality to taunt you. Let's keep going with this interview because I have also a clip from the Breakfast Club where she further addressed the Trey Songz allegations.
I hate to have to bring and say that and make it known. But I mean, look, I ain't the first person that's gone through. People have gone through this all the time in college, in high school, but these aren't the things that I've experienced. So this was like kind of one of my first major experiences. It would be like you going to a party where the biggest jock is there. And the whole time he's like, you can get screwed. You can get this, you can get that, and you ain't no little girl no more.
Have you heard from Trey since you posted it?
I haven't heard from him directly, no.
Who'd you hear from?
I heard from my manager,
And your manager said what?
Now, Keke Palmer has addressed this Trey Songz situations more than once. Let's go to an interview at the Breakfast Club where she also addressed the situation staunchly about Trey Songz.
Did you and Trey Songz ever get cool again?
Man, I have not talked to that guy. I have not spoken to that guy.
Was it a misunderstanding?
because you accused him of sexual intimidation last
You know,
year.
it wasn't a misunderstanding.
She told her story of what
I tell my truth, and you know, I just thought it was real interesting that after all those things went down, you know, someone else had something to say. So it wasn't like I don't like when people think that somebody is just gonna be saying something just to say it. First of all, I love black people. I love my people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna try to ever tear nobody down, try to tear no black man down. That's not who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I stand for. That's not what I'm about. So if I say something, I'm saying something for a reason. And I feel like so many times black women say stuff and nobody gives a shit. Excuse my language. Nobody gives a fuck when sometimes black women say something. But
as y'all can hear, man, while we going through this segment about Trey Songz, shout out to my brother Gore in the building. Hey, Gore, like I said this earlier, I was gonna stream on the Daily Rundown, but it was hit with a community strike, bro. So I couldn't even do it. But the allegations against Trey Songz goes all the way back to 2013, where video footage from August 2013 shows Trey Songz allegedly approaching a woman at a party, yanking down her bathing suit top and exposing her breasts while chanting, quote, "titties in the open," and end quote. And this directly comes from CNN. The woman in the video was Megan Johnson, who demanded a $5 million settlement while in court with Trey Songz. Let's go back to Keke Palmer, however, and finish hearing what she had to say before we go into the most recent allegation made by Trey Songz. Sorry, against Trey Songz.
But somebody of another complexion, somebody of another color, they say something, and then it's like, we're taking it to court. It's time to get serious. Hashtag me too.
And she had every right to feel that way. She had every right to feel like black men did not take her seriously. She had every right to feel like black men did not take it seriously. But this woman right here, she's being taken seriously. Let's go ahead and see what she got to say about Trey Songz.
All I'm doing is waiting for the Netflix documentary. It's coming. Trey Songz situation is so disheartening to me. Why does it take so many people for y'all to believe women? Why do y'all hate women so bad?
They do.
That everybody gotta be lying on this man.
They do.
Nobody is lying on this man. If anything, more people are too afraid to come forward about this man. This man should not even be able to be out and about on the streets, running around, roaming around, like, at all.
Y'all heard what she said. God damn it. Y'all heard what she said. When will y'all listen to the victims? When will victims' pain, whether it's a man or a woman, but in this particular situation, we're talking about black women, why does it take this non-black woman to come out for y'all to say, you know what, maybe we need to investigate Trey Songz and do a documentary on him? Not bring him to justice, but do a documentary. Because, you know, that's the way shit works. That's goofy. And I, for one, am not supporting Trey Songz anymore. I'm not listening to his music until this shit gets sorted out. All of this sexual misconduct with multiple women is fucking alarming, bro. And truthfully, I don't want to be a part of some shit that bring my spirit down no more, bro. You got the Las Vegas incident. You got the Miami incident. Winter Blanco allegation, right? Keke Palmer allegation. This woman allegation. I'm just ashamed of you niggas, man. Let me go ahead. I'm done with my Instagram topics. I was going to do a video about the young man who got his kid taken away when his car got towed. The kid was in the back seat, but I don't even feel like doing that video. Video sad as fuck. Instead, I'm going to go into Black culture directly from the Lapeef Network. And we're going to talk about all the videos. I'm going to cover all the videos where Anton and Mr. Lego, Saint in the Center, all visited Lapeef Network and talk about Black culture is trash. And then we'll break down why Black culture is not trash. Let's start with this video here. Let me go ahead and get that. All right. So this video is from a few years ago. The panelists are Courtney Michelle, Lapeef Jr., the owner of the show, Anton Daniels, the shock jock of the show, the KA show, who is the smartest person on the segment, Lauren Melissa, who was not only beautiful but very intelligent, Chicago Rilla, thumbs down, and Amira exiled, the Lebanese queen. Now let's go ahead and talk about Black culture.
Let's talk. We act like the world don't already see us. We act like Amira can't see this program and that she haven't been watching it prior to her getting on the program, as though it changes the dynamic or the narrative of anything. And instead of us trying to observe and try to meld the two cultures to see what it is that we can learn from each other, we're trying to put words in her mouth. Rilla is talking for her. All of this other nonsense, she can speak for herself. And I said what I said. Our culture is still trash, and it hasn't changed. And y'all not saying anything to the contrary. Only thing y'all saying is we shouldn't put it on in front of everybody else. Do they do it in your culture? So on and so forth. What's the real result? What's the real issue that y'all have a problem with, other than the fact that y'all didn't like the fact that Amira was shooting 10 for 10? She didn't miss one shot yesterday. And y'all gonna get mad at me for saying that she didn't miss a shot, instead of getting mad at the fact that y'all was missing shots all night long and y'all couldn't defend your points, and she was racking it.
Before we go on, because I guess that was the highlight of the video. I guess that was the major point we were supposed to get, was that the Black women was not making any points at all. And I find this video years later to be crazy, because Anton is somebody that doesn't represent Black culture. Anton he isn't somebody who is knowledgeable about Black culture enough to actually say what Black culture is. If you summarize Black culture to Meg Thee Stallion or to P. Diddy or just rap culture or hip hop, that lets me know that you know absolutely nothing about rap culture. But before we keep going, we are an hour in. Let's see if we can get $5, $10, $20, $100, whatever you want to donate to the show. All right, I'm gonna try to do these morning shows every single day. Okay, let's go ahead and keep going though with the reaction.
And so I think, honestly, and I thank you for that, but that's what was missing, where we talked about your culture, but it was more focused on religion, but we didn't talk about the culture and see how the difference in American culture and your culture. We have a lot of freedoms here. And I think Bolo talked about it last week, was like some of those freedoms is really messing us up as a culture, because we're able to date and mess up and get heartbroken and have sex out of it and have kids. I totally agree. I really think that we need to be more conservative on that. And with you, I checking your page, I'm conservative as well too.
I know that. I know.
Yeah. So I totally. We agree with a whole lot of stuff. Let me tell you.
That's why I was really surprised that you weren't really agreeing with me as much, because I've watched you for months on this channel, and I've always agreed with what you said. But when I came on, you weren't agreeing with me as much as I thought you would.
What?
Yeah, Gore, the old days. The thing about it is like this. I don't believe that we need to learn from Lebanese people about how to have Black culture, right? I just don't believe that. I believe that Black culture is what it is, and we don't need anything from the Lebanese society to validate us as a culture or American people. That's just unnecessary. It's completely unnecessary. And also, see, African American homes have a lot of diversity. Right? Today, we have Black people and white people having babies, all kind of different shit. And these families often have extended relatives, is what we call them, because a lot of times, just like me, I have children outside of my marriage. The family structures in America versus the family structures in Lebanon are different, right? And mostly because we have been significantly impacted by slavery and systemic racism. Now, I know there's a strong emphasis on the Black family in this space, but until we deal with the impact of slavery and systemic racism, we're not going to be able to readdress anything. We're not going to have a conversation genuinely about Black culture. We're not going to have a conversation about how the medical field oppresses Black women just as much as the law oppresses Black men. But again, I'll just break this down, and Anton is welcome to respond.
I don't think we really talk. I mean, we say conservative for political reasons. So I think our politics has a lot, in common. I would tell you, and we do. But then, culturally, and we talk about cultures, it's different. And it wasn't with you. I think it was, when I have someone on the panel, as far as someone that looked like me, to say, my culture is trash in front of anyone else, then that's what makes me in mama protective mode. Where it's, and I know that you understand, because I know that you're culturally based too. And if anybody was to, go against your culture as a Muslim woman or, from Lebanese, you're like, wait a minute, because this is me and I represent this, I am it. So when anyone,
I miss when Courtney was the voice of reason on the show, when she would come around and speak up for Black people. I'm actually going to go back and start reviewing a lot of those videos, Gore, to build back up my old catalog and some of my old videos, because a lot of those good moments where I used to make fun of the manosphere, they're old clips, right? A lot of these guys have really tried to clean up their act, per se. But in this video, Courtney Michelle was doing a wonderful job saying that, yeah, if somebody was saying Black culture is trash, that's when she's going to have to get protective of the culture and defend it by all means. And instead of her standing 10 toes down with somebody like myself, who has always defended Black culture, who has always defended Black women, even defended Courtney Michelle when Anton was going against them in this very video, they always do what Cassie did and so many other women did. They always choose to go with the money and the clout until it's not useful for them no more. And then now they don't support these people. Now these people created a bad environment. And I just really hate that the good Black men out here will just never get the support from Black women. It will always be Black men who really demonize Black women and dehumanize Black women on a daily basis. They will always have Black women on their side somehow, some way, either on the panel participating, being flown out, all kinds of shit, bro. It is what it is. Like me personally, I've given up on trying to help that group of people, because at the end of the day, I can only help those who want to be helped. I can only put the message out. But if you're going to continuously go around and be in conversations where you're going to be dehumanized, I can't do shit about that.
One talks bad about it, in essence, is talking bad about me.
Understood.
So I think that kind of was, a little bit, but that's why I said on today, let's talk about your culture. And there's a lot of stuff that I learned, and I'm like, okay.
So I think what I hear is
with Black people in the Middle Eastern countries.
Pardon?
Dealing, as far as what I'm learning with, Black people and going to the Middle Eastern countries, how they feel, how they're treated. And even in your country, what I'm learning, and maybe that you can shine some light on, which I'm just like, it's
so
different.
if I can say this, I think.
So before Anton goes in, let me go ahead and read my notes that I have here, guys. So this is a very complex and sensitive topic. Anton Daniels, who is a conservative commentator, has made controversial statements critiquing certain aspects of contemporary Black American culture. But whether Black culture is trash is true depends entirely on what aspects of culture we are discussing and how we defined it. All right, so let's really break this down. Black American culture has given the world extraordinary contributions such as jazz, blues, gospel, hip hop, the civil rights movement, literally traditions such as I'm trying to think of some authors right now. Maya Angelou, Toni Morrison, James Baldwin, right? We had people in culinary arts that had amazing innovations. We had people who are artistic, like Michael Jackson, that created all different type of dance moves and dance forms. We've had all type of different creativity and models of community resilience. Black people have global influence. It's just that simple. However, again, you have people like Anton Daniels who often point to specific contemporary issues within some Black communities, and let me name them. One, other things that Anton Daniels will bring up is the high rate of single parent households. Now, let's have a conversation about that. I'm gonna have a short one. In my opinion, we have a high rate of single parent households because black men do not want to take care of their children. And the good men that do want to take care of their children, the good men, I'm gonna say it, the good men are not treated no differently than the bad men. We have no love in our households today. We have no structure in our households today. We have no order in our households today. And instead of Anton Daniels and other Bannister men pointing at the real issues in the black community, they automatically blame it on the women, as if the men are not the leaders of the community. One of the next things that Anton bring up is certain glorifications of violence and materialism in hip hop. This goes from the Chicago drill music all the way up to people like Diddy. Now, I'm not going to say anything about hip hop because I love hip hop, but I will say this: unless we're speaking on the Italians and how they have glorifications of violence in shows and movies like The Godfather or The Irishman, et cetera, then we're not having a real conversation. Again, we want to blame something else. Let's blame hip hop on violence instead of blaming poverty, right? Poverty that happens due to racism and systemic oppression, as well as black men just being fucking lazy. If we're having a genuine conversation, then Anton would bring up educational achievement gaps, how other races of people have achieved more in the field of education. The interesting thing about this is Anton Daniels never even graduated from college. So he also represent one of those people that he's talking about when he say black people don't achieve a higher level of education. And then Anton Daniels would bring up things like incarceration rates. He would say that black men are the most incarcerated. When if you do a simple Google search, you will see that the population of white men in jails is bigger than the population of black men. All right, let's go back to the video before I keep giving nuances, guys.
I think what's at the heart of it all is, for me, you think, well, you believe that, you know, there's a separation, there's religion and culture. And from what I'm hearing with Amira, it's like there is no separation. Like her religion is her culture. They're one and the same. I think it's hard for us to grasp because our culture is so convoluted. Like our culture mixes in like the political side, the religion, and the people who choose not to prescribe to any of those, right? And so
I don't think that, because it's different types. The Islamic religion, there's different forms of the Islamic religion.
Just like there's different Christians.
Yeah, yeah.
So their culture believes in something, and you know, if you were to go to Egypt where there's Muslims, it's completely different. If you were to go to Muslims here in America, it's completely different from them. And so it's not different. They have a culture and it's intertwined in the religion base, but a lot of their religion is laws.
I just think
It's different. Muslims are different across the world.
I just think, ours is just a little bit more complicated, I'd say, right? If you think about the black culture and how we got here and all of the different viewpoints.
Lauren, our culture is divided. Our culture is divided. There used to be a time where black culture represented black men and black women. Now, we have a culture for black women and we have a culture for black men. It's not the same. Now, single mothers are celebrated and called good fathers as well on Father's Day. There used to be a time where we all wanted what's best for each other. There used to be a time like that. That time is all but gone. All but gone, bro. See, they want me to come on here and talk about people's wives and crash out every episode. I can't even do it. I want to have genuine conversations. You can't have those conversations. I just talk to myself. Let y'all watch. Let's go.
Points that was basically forced upon us, and then we're basically at war with ourselves because we're picking and choosing what we want to believe in, what we want to grasp towards. And so I think that's the issue, is that there's no unification with our culture. And I'm not trying to say it's negative, because that's what makes us unique as a culture, is that we all think differently. We all are different. And I think when Amira is speaking, it's like she's sure. There's a matter of fact, this is what we believe. And whether or not there's so many different, pathways, there's so many different Muslim, pathways. And at the end of the day, it all roots to the same thing. You talk to Christians and it's like, I'm Baptist, I'm non-denom, I'm all in it, and it's like,
Lauren, you're saying that from a place of not knowing that there are actually different sects of Islam, just like there are.
I do know that, but I don't think
Anton.
Before oh damn, I ain't even showed you the video. My bad. So the crazy thing about this is they never talk about the bad things when it comes to the Islamic faith. Right? Like, let's pull up some facts. Shall we? On Gemini? Is that okay? Would that be okay for you guys? Let's see. Hey, Gemini. In Lebanon, can a man that's an adult marry a child?
In Lebanon, there is no single national minimum age for marriage because personal status laws are governed by 18 different religious courts. While many religious sects have recently raised their minimum age to 18, child marriage is still legally possible under certain conditions. Religious jurisdiction. Each sect, Sunni, Shia, Druze, and various Christian denominations set their own rules. Exceptions. In several communities, girls can be married as young as 14 or 15, and sometimes younger, with the permission of a religious judge or a legal guardian. Civil law. There is currently no unified civil law in Lebanon that prohibits marriage under the age of 18 across all groups. Would you like more specific information on the age requirements for a particular religious group?
No, thank you. You've done well.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could help clarify that for you. Would you like?
So as you guys can see, Anton is not going to get out here and talk about how, young girls as far as young as 14 years old is being forced to marry these men. Right? Anton's not going to have that conversation, I think, because he's incapable of having that conversation intellectually. But what I do know is he has a bone to pick with black women. Let's go and talk about Sharia's law. Does the law, Sharia's law, allows grown men to marry little girls?
In classical Sharia law, there is no fixed minimum age for marriage. Instead, it is generally based on the attainment of puberty and maturity.
Damn.
While some traditional interpretations allow for the marriage of minors with the consent of a guardian, many modern Muslim-majority countries and contemporary scholars have established legal minimum ages, often 16 or 18, to protect against child marriage. Classical view, maturity, bulugh, is the primary threshold, which varies by individual but is often associated with the onset of puberty. Modern reforms. Most modern states governed by or influenced by Sharia have enacted statutes requiring both parties to be of a specific legal age to ensure informed consent and physical readiness. Consent. Many scholars argue that true Islamic marriage requires the valid consent of both parties, which a young child cannot legally provide. Would you like?
So under Sharia's law, it doesn't go by age, it goes by puberty. Under Sharia's law, it doesn't go by age, it goes by puberty. But instead of Anton having that conversation about their culture, we're going to talk about how trash black culture is. Okay, you got it. And black women are going to be on the panel to help make him rich, to be dehumanized. Let's go.
There's definitely different ones.
I agree with Lauren though, because Amira even said it. She said that if you were to put her in a room with Somalis,
There's
would
different,
find-
right?
Well, no. She said they would have more in common than what they would different. And my experience with people of Islamic faith and Muslim faith, so on and so forth, is that they find more common ground, even more so than people who profess the name of Christ.
Exactly.
Way more common ground.
Is that true? Is that true? Put my little blunt down real quick. Go back to my Galaxy Note. Okay. And let's go to Gemini. Gemini, can you tell me the major religion in Sudan? Is it Christianity only, or are there Muslims in Sudan?
Islam is the major religion in Sudan, with roughly 91% to 97% of the population identifying as Muslim, primarily Sunni. Christianity is a small minority, accounting for about 3% to 5% of the population. Would you like to know how
So before I keep going, 91% of Sudan is Muslim. Now, according to Chicago Rilla, they always find common ground. Uh-oh. Am I glitching? Oh, my shit about to die.
All right.
Oh shit.
All right, guys. So, unbeknownst to me, while I was doing this recording, my MacBook died. Motherfucking MacBook just straight up dropped. Now I have to do this video from my iPad. So first of all, put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. That's first of all. If you can hear me, if the audio is coming through well, please put a 1 in the chat. Then I will keep going. All right. I gotta go to my other computer. I gotta let my MacBook completely charge. It's OV. You put that in low power mode. Turn this brightness down and go back to the video. Also, make sure you guys I put a new link in the chat. Matter of fact, let me check this. So y'all not gonna put a 1 in the chat and test the audio for the same guy? Look how y'all be doing me, bro. I gotta go look at the video my damn self to see if the audio is coming through clean. Let me see, bro. Only thing I need is one of y'all to put a 1 in the chat just to let a player know. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to end the stream, bro. Otherwise, we're gonna have to end the goddamn stream. All right, let me see. We're gonna have to end the goddamn. All right, no, it's coming through clear. It's coming through clear. It's good enough for me. I don't know if I've been up here for an hour.
All right, I think I'm gonna finish. I think I'm gonna finish this in a pre-record because my laptop died. I'm gonna get some other stuff done. Maybe it's a sign from God to go ahead and get some other work done. With that being said, I got a conversation to have. I will talk to y'all later. Peace.